No Film School's coverage of Cinegear 2019 is brought to you by Blackmagic Design, creating revolutionary solutions for film, post-production, and television, and Firefly, unlimited music and non-GMO hosting.
So, this is a 35mm format. It's important to stress. 20 to 60mm Cooke Vero Pencro lens. This thing might be older than my parents. I'm not really sure. So, I am near some Old Fast Glass with Mark from Old Fast Glass. That's Old Fast Glassception for you. How's it going, Mark?
Good, man. How are you?
Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. So tell me who Old Fast Glass is, and also tell me about this Old Fast Glass right in front of me.
Old Fast Glass is a rental house in LA, Burbank to be specific. We do cameras, we do accessories, we do full camera packages, but we really love lenses, especially old lenses. We have new ones, and we have slow ones, but we really like old ones, and fast ones are always a little more fun. They tend to be. But yeah, a lot of vintage lenses, a lot of rehoused, a lot of unique, a lot of rare, just trying to get lens choices that deliver something unique.
Yeah. So now, obviously, as you were talking about a little bit earlier, modern lenses have gotten so sharp, so crystal clear with their color, that there's actually been just a huge hype on both rehousing of vintage glass and the collection of vintage glass. So what have you noticed in terms of that in your clientele, and also what are some of the lenses that we see here in front of us?
There is a big move. I think that sharp, clean lenses are great. I think there's definitely a place for them. We rent them out. But sometimes I think people want an image that's a little more romantic. I think film did that. Film showed us the world in a way that was not quite what the real world looks like. It softens it up, it romanticizes it, highlights bloom, it does a lot of kind of magical things. And everyone, I think, since digital cameras have gotten so good and so sharp, everyone's been looking for that. Everyone's trying to emulate film. Cameras are trying to emulate film, and actually older lenses can help you do that. They soften up the image a little bit, light blooms a little bit, wraps around your subject a little bit the way that film would. So it's, I mean, beyond that, it's not even just those vintage qualities. I mean, every lens has a different sharpness, has a different fall off, has a different bokeh, has different breathing. So, you know, not every lens is right for every project. So having options, having variety is, you know, just a dream for cinematographers. If everyone's using the same set of lenses, lighting and everything else is going to affect your project, but things are going to have a certain tone in common. And now you can go as funky as you want. You can get crazy, you know, old, detuned, recoded, uncoded. You know, there's so many options now. It's pretty exciting.
So go on and show me some of your favorites here on the table.
I don't like to pick favorites because I do believe, you know, it's the right tool for the job. Every lens sort of has its purpose, but I do favor some. This Cooke zoom, I will say maybe I have a favorite zoom, and it might be this one. It's a 20 to 60 T3.1. It came out in like 1980. It's fairly light. It's one of the only vintage hand-holdable zooms that covers a really useful range from 20 to 60. It's sharp, but it flares like crazy in the most beautiful way. So here's the original let's see, this one is, you can tell Russian lenses by the date it was made by that serial number, so that's 1989. So this is an 89 original housing. This is brand new rehouse, same optics, new housing. And these old Russian lenses are they're just gorgeous. Really flattering, lower contrast. Do some just kind of special things to your backgrounds. Bokeh gets a little crazy towards the edges. And I feel like people are looking for, like, they're looking to stand out. There's a lot of talented people out there, and I think people want something that's going to give them a little extra edge, and some of these older lenses have such a unique character that they really can help make a project stand out a little bit. You know?
Wonderful. Do you sell these outright, or do you just rent them out for projects?
Just rent. I mean, I think everyone in this business buys and sells, you know, something maybe it doesn't rent as much. People think about selling it. I hate selling any lens because I love them all, so I try to never sell anything. But yeah, we're rentals mainly. And I'm just kind of fascinated with like the history of them, the build, all the different coatings, everything that goes into it. So it's like I feel like a historian for some of this stuff. I love talking. One of my favorite things about this business is talking to a DP about their project or the director about their project and finding out what's the look they're going for. and just giving them options. And sometimes it might even be an option I don't have that might be the best thing for their project. But we have people come and test, like anything that's on the shelf, you can come, test them out, compare, because sometimes you don't know until you see it, or you watch some test videos or something, but you don't know. Maybe you can bring your actor out and see what that person looks like on camera with that lens. Or you have a really specific lighting thing you want to do where you're doing a ton of backlight and you just want to turn all the lights off, do heavy backlight, and test 3 or 4 lenses out. We love doing that because then you know you're ready for your shoot, that you chose the right lens for your project.
So obviously, we having such a huge collection of vintage lenses in your guys' rental house, how do you determine appraising the worth and the value of a vintage lens, a lens that people just don't see or use as often?
I think for anything, it almost always comes down to just the purchase price and supply and demand. So if something's really expensive, everyone just usually that means it's better in some way, and it's going to deliver, so the price can be higher. But it's also rarity and and quality. Like this lens, there's not actually a ton of these out there. A lot of the older, bigger rental houses have them. A lot of the smaller ones don't. So it can maybe rent for a little bit more than something comparable. But it really comes down to how much money did you put into buying it to begin with. But what I do like about our shop is we have some, we do have some high-end, expensive options, but we also have some really low-budget options, like these Lomos and these B-Speeds give you an absolutely phenomenal image, and I think even for indie filmmakers, it's at a price point that you can definitely afford. So,
so where are you guys located, and how do I get rentals from you or anything like that?
We're in Burbank, California, and you can just reach out through our website, oldfastglass.com.